Hey everybody, today we're talking about the ABRSM Grade 2 tuned percussion solo, C Blues. Now we're going to start all of our tuned percussion solos the same way, and the first thing we're going to check out is our key signature. Now our key signature is what tells us what kind of sharps and flats we're going to have or what key we're going to be in. You might be learning your scales alongside these, as you should be. And it kind of tells us what scale we're going to be playing in while we're playing the solo. So if you look right next to the treble clef, you'll notice just on the B line a little flat, okay? And that is telling us that every B that we see in this piece is going to be a flat one. So here's a B natural, but every time I see a B in this piece, I'm going to play a B flat. Now you may already know from your scale work that one flat is the same as F major, right? So here's your F major scale. Okay, that's an F major scale. But what our composer's done is actually used a different scale that has the same key signature, and that is D minor. And we know that because if we check out the very first measure, our first three notes, D, F, A, it gives us the chord for a D minor. So if you play from D to D using a B flat, it will sound like this. Okay, that's a D minor. Now you don't need to know D minor scales until grade 3, but we might as well learn as we're going through, okay? The next thing I like to check out is the time signature. We know how to read time signatures very well by now. This one is a 6/8. We know the top note tells us how many beats we're going to have per measure, 6. And the bottom note tells us what kind of notes those are going to be. So there are 6/8 notes per bar. Now we've talked a little bit about anytime you have a time signature with an 8 in the bottom, the most common thing you're going to feel is a dotted quarter note. And a dotted quarter note is worth 3/8 notes. So we're going to feel 3/8 notes per pulse, we would say, right? So in this case, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Do, 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 da, da, da. Okay? Now the next thing I like to look at are any instructions the composer's given us. And our composer, Clive Malabar, writes with a gentle blues feel over the top. And already the word gentle is very good. The word gentle sort of tells us how we're going to feel this piece. We're going to be quite delicate with it. And the next two words, blues feel, you might not know. Blues is a style of music from the southern part of America in the late 1800s and has evolved over the years into blues rock and things. But originally blues is sort of just a heartfelt song, and it typically sort of reflects sadness or getting over sadness. I think that's really important to know, that blues is not about feeling sad. Blues is about getting over your sadness, okay? Look up some artists like Robert Johnson or Muddy Waters or other blues artists out there. Buddy Guy is another one, and you'll sort of get a style of what blues is all about. So we're going to feel that. It's really relaxed, it's gentle, and there's a bit of melancholy, we would say, in the song. The title, C Blues, implies that maybe this person is near the ocean, maybe sitting on their porch, looking out at the ocean and feeling sort of reflective. And that's what we're going to think about when we play this. Now, let's go through the piece measure by measure and check out the dynamics and any other special instructions that might come up along the way. We're going to begin in mezzo forte. We all know mezzo forte, just sort of chilling, middle of the road, staring at the sea. And our first special little thing that we're going to see already comes in measure 3. And if you look at the fourth beat, that dotted quarter note, there's a natural sign next to the B. Now this natural sign is important because we just talked about our key signature, which told us that every time we see a B, we're going to play a B flat, okay? But what the composers indicated here is, whoops, ignore that key signature. I'd like you to play a B natural here, okay? So that's really important to know. In measure 5, as we go on, forte, we're playing in forte, quite strong. We're following with a decrescendo down to mezzo piano. Then we have a whole bar's rest in measure 8. And in measure 9, mezzo piano. We're growing, growing. Again, measure 11, we see another natural sign on that B, right? So now we have a B natural instead of the B flat that's indicated in the key signature. Next we have in measure 13, this is quite interesting. Normally we see flams on a snare drum, but here we have a flam on a keyboard instrument. And this flam, this is when we would actually call it a grace note. And we should call it grace notes on snare drums as well, but flam is the term we use. Now, if you'll notice, the grace note, the little teeny tiny note, is on the E, and the main note is on the F. Okay? So you're going to play that E just a little bit before and a little bit quieter, just like a flam. The E is going to be close to the keyboard instrument, and the F is going to be a little bit bigger. You hear that? We're going to make a little bit of that. Now, I do something fun. We'll talk about it a little bit. On a vibraphone where it rings so much, I actually sort of play a dead stroke for the flam. It's not something you have to do. It's just something I did in this performance of it at the beginning of this video. Carrying on, we've got measure 14. Again, we've got a little grace note, and it's also got a natural on it. So we're not playing any of these B flats, which is silly. He's told us to play a B flat, and then we're not even using them, right? So here we go, grace note. Okay, moving on, we have a subito piano there in measure 17. And we're going to grow in measure 19 to mezzo forte. One important thing to notice here in measure 20 and 21 is the start of that phrase has a little accent. So let's make sure we emphasize that accent, especially on keyboard instruments. You have to give a little bit more to emphasize the accent than you would on a snare drum, okay? We're going to crescendo to forte into 25, then we're going to decrescendo. Here's a very special instruction. In measure 26, there's a little half circle with a dot in the middle of it over the second part of the bar, over that dotted quarter note. That is called a fermata. And what happens in a fermata is that everything is held. We simply hold, and then we're going to release and play the next measure. So if we play from measure 25, 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and fermata, 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 fermata. We're gonna like hang out. This is up to you as the performer. You can hang out as long as you want before you rest and you go on. Fermata in the last bar as well. You see that fermata in the last bar. We're just gonna hold that out as long as you want until you feel like the moment has settled, and that is entirely up to you. Okay, now I think we're ready for our play along. Now I should indicate that the composer has actually written dotted quarter note equals 70 at the beginning, and that sounds and feels like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But for our play along, and all of our play alongs, we're going to go a little bit slower. Just make sure that we really understand what's happening here and talk through it as we play. And we're going to go at dotted quarter note equals 55. One special instruction here, when we get down to that fermata, we're going to treat that with 2 extra bars. So we're going to count through it. And if you think about measure 25 will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, fermata, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, mute, 5, 6, play, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. And then that fermata you can hold as long as you want. And with all of our play-alongs on tuned percussion, we're going to think about two things. We're going to think about our playing spot. For now, I want everything right in the center, okay? Not both sides. I want everything right in the middle. Even when you go to the accidentals, I want them right in the middle, okay? We're also going to think about lifting and not hammering down. We're simply bouncing them off of the instruments, okay? Let's go ahead and get started. This is dotted quarter note equals 55. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, play 5, 6. 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, forte, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. Crescendo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 4, 5, 6. 4, 5, 6. 4, 5, 6. Piano. 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Accent. 6, 1, 2, 3, accent, 5, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, mute, 5, 6, 4, 5, 6, 4, 5, 6. Maybe even a little bit quieter than I just played that. Maybe a little bit quieter on those last two notes. Very good. I will say, in my performance at the very beginning, I come in a little bit slower after the fermata at the very end. 4, 5, 6. And I take my time. It's not written, but this is all about you saying what you want to say with the music. It is a solo. So you can do whatever you want. When you're playing with other people, then you have to make negotiations about how things are going to go. But when it's just you, go ahead and have fun with this. I hope you are having fun. Please send me any questions you may have, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. We'll have one more play along at tempo. I'll count you in, and you can play along with that. And as always, you can you don't need any accompaniment with this, so you're fine. Hope you're having fun. Talk to you soon. Bye. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, ready, play.